Welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast, where wealth is energy, success is a mindset, and abundance is your birthright. I am Danielle Amos, your host and mentor, here to help you unlock prosperity, embody confidence, and manifest a life you love. Take a breath, align with your truth, and let's manifest millions. Welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast. This is Danielle Amos, and I am your host. Today, I want to talk about success. The fact that success leaves clues. Have you ever wondered why some people are successful and others are not? You can have two salespeople, same city, same training, same product. One person is super successful and the other is not. Ever wonder why? Success leaves clues, and success is a system. Success is 95% mindset and 5% strategy. So what you do isn't as important as how you do it and the energy in which you do it in. And what I mean by energy, it's a combination of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. It's your attitude. It's your mindset. And what I've noticed is there are people who have been trained to understand the mind and the mechanics of the mind, and they are using the principles that actually is ancient wisdom that's been passed on, secret of the ages, through lineages like myself. And I've learned this from Bob Proctor, and he learned it from his mentor, and so on and so on. And then there's people who just naturally seem to make things happen. Recently, I was speaking to a gentleman who's a professional athlete, and he is clearly what we call an unconscious competent, meaning he's very competent in his results. And when I started speaking to him, I realized that he actually understands mindset and the mechanics of the mind. He knows how to master his mind to create the reality that he wants. But he didn't know what he was doing, so he couldn't actually teach it to someone else. And so although he did this to become a professional athlete in his early years, he's not necessarily using what he knows or what he's used before in his life today to get the results that are available to him with unlimited potential. Literally, as human beings, we can be, do, and have anything that we desire. Our potential is infinite. But unless and until you know that and then understand the mechanics of the mind so that you can use the tools and learn to master your mindset consciously, you're going to be creating by default. So this gentleman, he created incredible results in his early years. And during that time, he was an unconscious competent. And now, as he starts to learn the mechanics of the mind, masters his mindset, and actually learns that he has mental muscles in which he can use and take to the mental gym and work out so that he can create the circumstances he wants rather than manifest by default. Once he understands it, what I realize with unconscious competence is that their results go through the roof because all of a sudden it starts to click in their mind. They will sound all familiar, like, oh my gosh, this is what I did when I became a professional athlete. These are the techniques I use. I just didn't know that I was doing it. And as you explain this, it makes so much sense. And they start connecting the dots as they think back to that time in their life where they created an incredible amount of success. And they go from being an unconscious competent to someone who's consciously competent and consciously creating a life in which they love. Now, the truth is, this is available to any one of you. You can learn how to master your mindset and create any results that you desire in your life. The first step is to understand that you are an infinite being, that you are a spiritual being in this physical body, and that you are here to do God's work. God is the creator. So what's God's work? To create. And you literally create or co-create with the energy that is, or God, and you co-create with that energy that runs to and through your body to manifest the circumstances into your life. And those circumstances can be anything that you desire. And it takes something because you're going to need to understand that that's who and what you are. Secondly, how the mind works, how the mechanics of manifestation. And then understand that up until now, you've been manifesting according to a programming that you received as a little kid, or what we call your paradigm. Your paradigm is just your mental programming or a multitude of habits that were programmed into you by your parents, by society, by school, by your teachers. And have been habitually showing up a certain way in your life. And that paradigm or that mental programming is responsible for your current results. So when we go to the root cause of those current results and we show you how to reprogram your mind to become a match for your goal achieved, and you understand that you are actually in charge and you take radical responsibility for that truth, your whole life changes literally around you, and it can happen super quickly. So today's podcast, I want to talk about the difference between being a conscious creator and an unconscious competent. So I just shared with you a gentleman that I recently met who created a lot of success as an athlete in his early years. And he was using a lot of these techniques. He shared with me that he visualized the game. He thought that he could. And we've all heard the statement, if you think you can, you will. He had absolute confidence in himself, and everything he tried, he assumed he could do it. Now, whether that was a belief that was instilled by his parents or maybe a coach, it doesn't matter. It was a belief that he held. And so everything he tried, he was good at. He also believed that he was good at sport. And then he had a persistent attitude. He was willing to do what it takes to persist, to dance until it rains. You know what that means? To dance until it rains means that you practice and you take the action until the result manifests in your life. And I always share the story about these anthropologists and these scientists who were watching tribes in different parts of the world. And these tribes would do a certain dance in order to pray for rain, in order to manifest rain. And there was one tribe that had 100% success rate. And so the scientists were really intrigued and they went to study and they studied all the tribes and their different dances. And they at first thought, oh, it must be the music, or it must be the dance moves, or it must be the prayers and the intentions that they set. They realized that it was none of that. And although the actions did make somewhat of a difference, it was actually the ability for the tribe to persist. And the one tribe that had 100% success, they danced until it rained. So they literally did not stop until they got the success they wanted. And that's why they had 100% success rate. My friend that I was talking to, he said the same thing. He practiced until he got it. He persisted. Now, most people give up 3 feet from gold. They give up way too early. What if the next phone call, the next action step you take is the one to achieve the goal that you desire? You want to be willing to dance until it rains. You don't want to be like most of those tribes that get tired and stop and they assume that they're doing it wrong. No, you keep going until you get the result. Obviously, course correcting along the way. Now, success is 95% mindset and 5% strategy. 5% of what you're doing matters, but it's actually the belief in your action that matters more than the action itself. And this you'll learn as you become a conscious competent and understand how to master your mindset. You'll always get what you believe. You cannot get anything else in this physical reality. The manifestations that you're attracting, the people into your life, the circumstances, they're based on the beliefs you have about the circumstances, about yourself, about your job, about your career, about other people, about the way the world works. That is literally dictating the circumstances that you get into your life. So when you learn to master your mindset, when you learn to take radical responsibility and start to control the thoughts that you think and make a conscious effort to discipline your mind to match the results that you desire, your whole life changes. You'll be in a different frequency, a different vibration. And because of that, you'll manifest and attract different opportunities into your life the moment you become a vibrational match for your goal. So, on this episode of the Mystic Millionaire podcast, your challenge is to pay attention to the way you feel. Your feelings are your guidance system. Your feelings are just another word for the vibration that you're in or the frequency that you are in. And you're always attracting according to your frequency. So the moment you notice that you're not quite in a vibration that you love or a feeling that feels positive, stop, notice, and adjust, and then proceed. I'm not telling you to push down your feelings or ignore the feelings. You want to work through them. And we've got lots of strategies. In fact, there's podcast episodes on this very topic for you to transmute the feelings that you have instead of push them down. Absolutely learn to transmute them and gain power and wisdom from them. You don't want to stay in this vibration of negativity very long. It's going to dictate what you attract into your life. So become a conscious, competent. Decide to learn to master your mindset. This is not something that's taught in school, and it's super important that you learn it. We are manifesting a new earth consciousness where we are literally living heaven on earth, and it's light workers just like you and I that are coming together to help humanity move to this next generation, this next level of what it means to be on planet Earth as a human being. I see you. I love you. Thank you for being here. Give us a 5-star review if this podcast helped you. Send me your comments, your questions on Instagram, and share this podcast. Help me get this information out to more and more people. I appreciate you. And to all of our subscribers, thank you for being a part of funding this podcast and allowing us to continue. And you get access to all the behind the scenes and all the bonus episodes. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. Expect abundance.